Welcome to Get Serious. This is part two of my interview with Callan Faulkner, CEO of The Uncommon Business. If you have not listened to part one, I would encourage you to do so you have the full context of the conversation. That episode dropped a few days ago. And in this part two of the podcast interview, we dive into a lot more technical concepts. How do you deal with just the overwhelm of all these crazy AI models, and where do you even start? It's something that I struggle with in my own business, even being a lot more AI savvy. And so we get some really insightful answers from Callan. Or even if you've been using AI for a while and you still feel like, I'm just not sure I'm getting the results that I'm expecting here, this episode should help you a lot. And we dive into some of my own journey with Callan, and some extra nuggets toward the end of this episode. I think you will find very insightful. Excited to have you here again, and enjoy the episode.
So I think that's an excellent transition point into we've kind of set the stage for just where we're at as humanity here. Like we really
went to the moon. We'll bring us back down to earth.
Yeah, and so people say, okay, yeah, it's all well and good here, but I got to make a living. I got to figure out where do I even fit within today's industry and the workspace. Whether you're trying to work a W-2 or trying to work within land investing here, like a nasty real estate market. I've been in this for 6 years. I want to do this the rest of my life. But this is, even though we've had like the best year ever, it hasn't felt like that. We have had to fight tooth and claw for like every deal. And like, we're just expecting this to be the case maybe even for a few more years. So it's like, how do you deal with so much, it's just a lot of turmoil within the markets, things changing, et cetera. And, especially from the AI side, I saw this recent report from Section AI. I follow them often the Saturday blog. And, they were showing that, these new models are just coming out just crazy amount, like every single month, there's just something new. And where, you would think that the workforce is just going to get trained more considerable. And then, like people's just, abilities within AI are just going to keep going up. And it was actually the opposite. People were more capable within AI, including experts, like end of last year compared to within the last few months, because just the range of models and capabilities just keeps increasing. Like it's impossible to really keep up with it. And I feel that internally as well. Like we've been working together for like the better part of 6 months. And even though like I've given myself like a lot of baseline in my team, and like we've definitely had results from there, I still feel like I'm like barely scratching the surface from what I can be doing. It's like sometimes I just have to wonder, like, where do I even focus on to get, like the best possible results that I can be doing with AI. And so maybe we could just take a step back and like, okay, a lot of people are probably feeling this right now. So like, where do we really start?
Yeah. Okay. Well, first and foremost, this anxiety of AI updates, AI change, oh, there's a new thing, like we now live in that reality. Like that anxiety and that urgency will not go away. And honestly, I think it's honestly a good anxiety. I think it's an anxiety that forces an obsession over AI fluency. And if you didn't have any need, if you didn't have any desire, why would you do anything? So first and foremost, we have to go to the absolute basics, back to the basics. So what do we have to know how to do? I need every person that uses a computer, whether you are a stay-at-home parent or one of the best land investors in the world, they need to be able to look at their to-do list and understand where AI can cut time down in executing those tasks. And every person working for you needs to be able to do the same thing. A basic example. Let's say you're on the phone you're doing a call, you've got a big deal you're working on, you've got your attorney on the call, you had the engineer on the call, and your broker's on the call. Everyone's talking about 19 different things. They're saying words you've never heard before. You're like, how many meters from the road? Why are we talking in meters? What's going on here? The amount of brain power that most people are spending on their day-to-day tasks is what's causing a dramatic reduction in productivity, because you're seeing some companies, they're just so freaking fast and some companies are so slow. So number one, basics. The absolute basics is understanding how to grab that transcript from the call, bring it into your system, draft a follow-up email, grab some notes, have a few conversations, make action items, and move on. That should take 15 minutes. Most people have that call, wait all day, come back around to it, try to scratch their brain to try and remember all this crap that they heard on 12 hours ago after doing deal reviews all day. And it's like we're literally just killing our brain cells. Like we're trying to do so much. We're trying to have our brain hold so much, and then you get back to having dinner with your family and your wife's like, you kind of feel a little off. And you're like, yeah, I bet you effing do, because you're exhausted. So number one, sure, there's whiz bang things, and we can talk about agents and we can talk about the future and all these things that are coming. The right now is AI fluency. When do I jump into ChatGPT? When do I use Claude? When should I use Perplexity? Should I go into Grok? What is Grok? You should know all of these different systems and what they do. You should understand, is this something that I should just do inside of a chat, or should I actually build an AI project for this? Is this a repeatable thing I do regularly? Again, sorry, we're going back out for 1 second. I think this is a problem with humanity right now. Is the word is called metacognition, thinking about your thinking. Personally, there is no one in my inner circle that is not constantly thinking about their thinking. Why was I triggered? Why am I having anxiety? Why do I feel this way? Business owners, land investors, think about what you're doing. Take a step back. Look at your list. Should you be manually writing a follow-up email? Hell no. Hell no. Should you have your attorney be creating documents from scratch? No. But you don't even know that that's wrong. So that's my TED Talk. AI fluency is number one to attack your to-do list. The second step here is you need to become, we're calling it an AI architect internally. This is the person that can audit an organization. It can look at people's roles. It can look at processes happening, and it can say, what should AI fully replace? What should AI enhance? And what is human only? And by doing that process, you will actually remove the items from ever hitting your to-do list at all. And that's the next step in the process. That is not a one and done, learn some stuff and move on. Like, we're entering an age now where continuing education on this, which you're seeing right now, it's why you're in our recurring program, is every week there's something new. Hey, by the way, Claude released this. Hey, by the way, oh my God, did you guys see this over here? Oh my God, one of our clients just built this incredible agent that does this and this. You guys need to see this. So this is now settling into this idea that you're committing to it. And then the last thing is building, I'm calling it a data moat. It has never been more important to capture and structure your data. Right now, your deal notes and your transcripts might be all over the damn place. Well, that's going to, you want to build an AI agent? Well, you can't do that if you don't have your data. The AI agent can't call you and say, hey, what Google folder is it in? It has to know exactly where things are. If you're not good at this, hire someone that's good at this. For example, today we're building out our customer success plan for our next launch of our 10-week AI program. And we just exported our entire email inbox from last launch of all the questions that were asked about the program, every sales question that was sent to us and how we responded to it. Guess what we're doing? Training AI on all that data. That data is now organized perfectly. We know where all of the email inboxes are. Our Slack channels are pulled out every week. Like, all this data is organized inside our organization so AI can actually use it. So this is like, we're getting a little bit more tactical, but yes, things are crazy and they're growing and they're scaling. It's kind of like saying the beginning of websites and apps. And yeah, sure, could you be on bleeding edge? You absolutely can be. I am personally probably 3 months behind the main. Like, I didn't talk about connectors for a few months because it kept breaking on me and it kept giving me errors. Get out of here. I'm not spending my time with that. Until it's 99% there and actually functional, practical inside my business, that's where I live. Because it's just, I can't handle, again, back to like my fulfillment in my life. I'm like, I'm not going to be on the bleeding edge, but that's okay, because arguably I'm already in the top 1% of businesses by being 3 months behind.
And that's such sage advice there. And maybe to take it even a step deeper here, because I think it's like very solid overview. Okay, you're like picking one thing to start getting good at, take transcripts, what have you, like start building up some confidence and just some the usability here, it's something that I've struggled with, and I think a number of other folks have too, is that, especially within the entrepreneur space, all these wild ideas, you can just try a whole bunch of new stuff. And, when do you realize when you've kind of gone down a wrong pathway, or do you see it's kind of a false start, and then like you realize, hey, I just need to pull the brakes on this, and like this was really not that good of an idea here, and I've burned like a couple days doing something I thought was going to be really helpful, but it's not solving the core constraint of my business here. So like, how do we really dive deeper and like know,
What
when
to
to pull
automate.
out from something? Yeah, precisely.
Well, this is a great, because this was the question you asked a couple weeks ago on Uncommon Leaders, where you went through, you're like, I have 49 things right now I want to automate. What do I choose? So what we did is we went through, and we so graciously, we have this woman in our group who is a productivity time saving coach, and she's freaking genius. And she actually did some coaching, and it was like, oh my God, we're stacking her frameworks. But her name's Megan Summerall, and she was like, every quarter I take my team and we look at everything that we are doing every day. How much time does it take? And how much energy did it take? 1 to 10. We look at all the things we're doing every day, every week, every month, every quarter. So now if we're tracking those things, if we understand, because a lot of us don't even know what our team's doing every day, every week, every month, we can start to actually look at, first of all, the things we need to automate are the things that are happening the most frequently, that take the most time, that take the most energy. Now we have some data to help us prioritize. Now we're looking at the things we're going to automate. Okay, you need to be able to say, in one sentence, this saves me blank hours or makes me blank dollars if this is automated. It doesn't have to be exact, but we should have an idea. Because what happens is, a lot of us are visionaries. I am too. We get down a rabbit hole about, oh my God, we could automate our finance report. Okay, well, right now, our finance team, it takes them like an hour a month to put it together. And it would take 60 hours to build an automation, and probably an extra 15K for our builder to come in and do some fancy stuff. Is that worth it right now? No, there's no ROI there. Is it a fancy dancy, really amazing thing to have a whiz bang finance dashboard? I'm getting 95% of what I need with a really amazing Google Sheet. Now, we were in our EOS meeting last week, and I was asking a few questions, and I was like, what's our average profit margin the entire year? And it took about 10 minutes to get the answer. Okay, now I'm seeing a pain point. Now I'm like, no, I need immediate. So now we're going down this path of, there's been many examples of me, Callan, the founder of the business, having to wait for finance answers. And that is not acceptable to me, because I'm like in the flow type person. So now I have initiated a project. This is very important for me. It's more of an intuitive, energetic project that I need an AI expert that knows every number at every moment that I can ask. And Carter's doing research on that. It's probably going to take about 50 hours to build. Worth it. So worth it, because now my decision making will improve. What's that worth to the company? So this is a skill set though. This is not like black and white. What should I look at? Because sometimes it is an energetics play. But for most people, looking at what you're doing and identifying what's the frequency, how long is it taking you, and how much energy is it taking, will dramatically start to help you prioritize automation initiatives. And I'm calling them automation initiatives because it could just be a really great zap. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything to do with AI. It could just be a great automation you build.
Yeah, absolutely. And that could take us down like a whole nother hour-long pathway and going into how to build some of those. But, I think this is kind of, whetted a lot of folks' appetite, at least getting the idea on where they can start. And again, just like a rapidly transforming world. Like, I can't overstate that enough. Every single week, I'm just blown away by something new, and it's just transforming my worldview like in real time. So, obviously, I have had you on here because, you're planning to start up your next round of a boot camp and, the Accelerate to Automate program, which, I was in the previous cohort earlier this year. I mean, audience has heard me talk about this a number of times here and, recommend it highly. So I'm going to continue to mention that here. And I think you as an entrepreneur, your team have only grown over the past 6 months in such a tremendous fashion that it's probably going to be even better than it was when I was in too. So I would love if you could just kind of share a bit more on,
Yeah.
where folks can go.
Yeah. Well, I am so grateful that you came through the course, Chris. It was so fun having you and so fun having you in Uncommon Leaders. So I think this is why I'm doing this is that 80% of most people's work is not value creation. It's not strategy. It's low value admin tasks dressed up as hustle. They're like, "Oh my god, I'm working so much." So, this is the process. We started doing AI training 2 years ago, and we have a 10-week AI course that essentially takes a non-technical human being from knowing nothing to becoming an AI architect. That's our core training, but before we do that training, we have been running a boot camp. It's called the Effortless Business Boot Camp. And essentially what that is it's 3 90-minute sessions with me, and I call it an adult magic show. It is the AI magic show of seeing is believing, like seeing a task that used to take an hour, watch it be 5 minutes, seeing an entire role transform from someone that was doing all these low level email responses to how would AI actually respond to that email without me even getting to it. I'm going to be showing you all of that inside the boot camp. So that boot camp is $47. We've made it so crazy affordable, because I want, even if you never come into any broader AI training with us, I want you guys to see the possibilities and get really excited about it. And I actually had a woman go through just the boot camp, and she she actually just recently got a new job, and she got a $50,000 bump in her salary because of her AI prowess just after going through the boot camp. So I don't hold back in that. I give a lot of weight. Did you come through the boot camp last time,
I
Chris, or did
did.
you go right into?
Yep.
Okay, well, that's right. You were in the boot camp. So it's just really helpful to be like, I don't even know what you guys are talking about. Like, what do you mean grab a transcript and make an email? What do you mean AI could respond to acquisitions text messages for me? Like, what does that even mean? That's what the whole boot camp is for. Just seeing the magic live.
Perfect. You know, again, just to kind of add on, and I know, some of you folks who've been listening, like I try to update in real time when we're doing things with AI. And I mean, I know I've mentioned a whole bunch just on how we're, preparing near 10,000 word SEO articles in like less than an hour, something that literally would have taken like 2 days to draft. Even a couple of years ago, used to write those manually. Like it's a super painful task. And just the fact that you can just spin these up with projects now is just wild. And, we get so much organic traffic for our funding business, and it allows us to keep our overhead even lower, just so, the comparison from just our the margins that we're hitting as a real estate business, especially in this market, like it's just way better. And because we just continue to optimize within, what can we do with an AI here. And, I've mentioned, a number of things that I'll do, but I think, even more to note on is just, when you can get your team to buy in, and, whether you're working with, a lot of land investors will have VAs, or like, I kind of like, Sharon Srivatsa's approach, like don't say VA anymore. Like we, give them a real title and they'll like, fill the role even better. So like
For
our
sure.
core VA is our ops manager here. And just maintaining like his accountability for just continued growth, and just, okay, like, and now like I'll just include like within any possible task or like request on Slack or something, like just, you got to use just AI for it. Like figure this
True.
out. What's the process to do it? And where, he's starting to just find new tools or approaches that I don't even know how they're done, but I just like the output there. Like for instance, I've been, very fortunate that, some of the serious news, my weekly newsletters, like Seth will syndicate them on his Ari Tipster website. But he usually likes graphics included within that. So I was just reviewing a draft the other day, and just like these really well done, kind of graphic design that looked like they were kind of, hand drawings, based on the wording that was in my article. I'm like, what AI was doing this? And then I was like asking our ops manager, and like he had found like this napkin.ai or something. Like I've never heard of that, but it works freaking
Awesome.
great. Like just keep doing
Well, it
something like
gave
that. So
him like he now that's what I mean, every person in my organization, there is no problem that we can't get at least 80, 90% towards, or it's just the resourcefulness. I think that's really like when I'm thinking about hiring and who I want to be working with and the skills that I need them to have. I don't need them to be good at a single thing. I need them to be broad, resourceful, creative. I will figure it out. That is the vibe, because you now have this incredible tool that has access to every piece of information that's ever been put on the internet at your fingertips. Oh, you have a title deal you can't figure out? You think a random title agent is going to know exactly how to do it? No, I had a deal that had 50 easements on it from 1970. I went into Grok deep research. I pulled every other deal that's happened within 50 miles of that location in the state where there's been at least 50 easements, and I had it back out into exactly how it was handled. What did the attorney do? What did title do? What research was done? Where was it posted? Oh, it was posted in the newspaper. They had to do this. They didn't need to get signatures. I did this on the plane. I landed. The guy next to me, which is crazy, he just so happened to be in the audience at a keynote speaking engagement I was doing. And I was doing a talk on AI. And he raised his hand and he was like, I sat next to you on the plane and you landed and you were talking about real estate. Like you were like a I thought you were a real estate attorney. I was like, yeah, I will be whatever you want me to be, because I figured out the whole plan. I handed it to my attorney. She was like, oh my God, are you in? Like, have you been around? You've done this easement work before down here? I'm like, no, I didn't even know barely what it was. I didn't even know what this means. Teenage something. I'm like, I didn't know what it meant. But I'm going on a tangent here because I think so many people get caught in an issue and they shut down and they're like, oh, well, the deal's dead. I'm like, nothing's dead. No one died. No one's dead. It's just a roadblock. And you have, my God, with Perplexity, I was on a call the other day with someone. They are doing deep research on the post office migration and how the post office is expanding around the US, because the post office they understand the migration patterns. I'm like, duh, great, amazing. Like using this in, 60 seconds, being able to pull this incredible amount of data that when I was doing land investing 3 years ago, I was lucky to get the downloaded U-Haul data like from last year that I was using for market research. There is such an edge to this that's so fun to play with. I'm invincible. I'm totally irreplaceable. Like if anything happened to me and this, if you're a land investor and the market's not good and you want to, expand into other business and someone else, it's like, it doesn't matter. You've just made yourself the most valuable person to any founder, any business, or even to yourself. So it's just an insurance policy at the end of the day.
Absolutely. That's how I'll consider things, internally, or at least, I mean, everybody will have rougher days than usual, but when I'm able to calm things down, I'm like, you know what? It's just a skill deficiency. Ultimately, other people have solved these things before and are 100x beyond it. Like it's just a skill that I need to get better at.
No, like I've said this since I was like 12 years old. I'm like, I've met this billionaire guy when I was 12, and I remember thinking, he is not really that smart. He's not really that kind. And he has $1 billion. He just has information I don't have. That is the only difference between me and him. And now you have it. Now, I will lie to you. It will hallucinate. It will say random stuff. So what do you do about that? Critical thinking, asking the right questions, asking it to tell you how it got to its thought process, having it judge itself. Like, this is the inception work that the creatives, I love it because I love being creative, and I know you do too. And that's the fun part about it. I'm like, most people are still going to get in here and they're not going to have any idea how to use it because they've never spent an ounce of time thinking about their thinking. Ultimately.
Right. And I know we're coming to the end here. And I think that's really the core piece as well. Just, again, I would recommend, Callan's, multitude of programs, but specifically the Accelerate to Automate, I think is just such a game changer about how you can just approach your own business and life in and of itself. Really at its core, I keep coming back to this idea. Again, I read in Section more recently, is just AI drivers versus AI passengers. And, so many people, not just within AI, but just in life, are just becoming passengers. Again, they don't want to work for anything. They don't want to get into like messy, real human connections. Don't want to like cook their own food, anything. Like, it's just give me, I'm just kind of like here alive, and I just am like passively consume whatever's there. And they might work in jobs where it's like you're being told, hey, like produce some, use AI, and they'll get a response back, and then just not think about it at all and just hand it in, and then all of a sudden, like, that's going to become the baseline. And so, like, as long as you can just surpass that, like, even be able to give like a some human judgment and go back to the AI and say, I'm not really certain about that. Like, that will put you above like 90% of people. So just you got to
All
be
you
a
have to
driver
be is
within
like
life.
10% further along than everyone else, and you're good to go. I swear to God, that is the mark. 10% further along, and suddenly there's a gap. It's a blast too. I know you're having so much fun with it. I think I don't want to lose that in this. Like, if you really understand how to use this, it is fun. Like, I get lost in there, just having so much fun, learning so much, solving so much in so little time. It can be really, really addicting.
Yeah, and that would be the last bit. Like, the sense of this community, and again, Callan and her team here, and why, like, I prop them up so much, is just, again, the frequency level of this. Like, they really, really love and enjoy what they do. And again, I could belong to a whole bunch of other communities, and like, it's not really the money thing to me. It's more the time thing. Like, what am I really going to invest in, for people and skill sets here? And this is just one of the handful that really, really spoke to me personally. And I just, like, I know so many other folks that even within the AI space and so forth, like, they'll work with like these huge corporations, and they're just like, it sucks. They're getting paid millions of dollars a year, but they're not very fulfilled. And they're also working with enterprises that aren't really inclined to figure out the kind of balance between joy and building their own skill sets, or they're stuck on like Copilot or something, which is just not the best model
God bless.
out
I'm
there.
so
And
sorry.
so
Yep.
I think that's the other piece too, is like, there's just such still a gap for us all to increase our own knowledge, even within today. Like, even if the models just stopped getting better for even a few years, we have so much room to
Infinite.
optimize as a
Infinite.
society.
Yeah. So good, Chris. Well, I
Yeah.
appreciate you so much. You're amazing. You are crushing your tool. I said this to you in person, but I'll say it again. I think it has the possibility, your comping tool, to revolutionize real estate. I think comping I go back to the tasks that just are not what our soul was put on the planet to do. And comping real estate is not a activity for a human soul. That's not their highest potential. It's just not. And it's just a perfect example of where AI can shine. And if we can move through that comping so much faster, and it's so good, and you've done such a great job, and I know you've been relentless to make it the best in the world. And I really, really do think it is. So I'm so excited for people to start using it and playing with it and seeing where it goes.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Callan. And yeah, as an actor, I was seeing a CBRE report for a deal we were looking at. I mean, this is a multi-billion-dollar company, and they're like they're including comps from like 5 years ago and in
No
different
effing clue.
states,
No
like,
effing clue.
hundreds of miles away. I'm like, what are these guys doing?
They
It doesn't
don't. They
make
have
any
no idea what they're
sense.
doing. Do you think
Yeah,
they're thinking about their thinking? No, they're putting they're like, here you go. We have a brand name. No, they don't care. They're like, here
yeah.
you go.
So
No, you've done a great job. So if people are not using that tool, is it available? Can people get it now? Or is it in beta?
almost weird. Is my engineering team is just working to put this thing
I
out.
love
But
it.
like,
No, you're the guy. This is for you. You're not in this. You're in this to seriously solve a problem, and you're not gonna release it until it's right. And
yep.
I love that about you. So good.
No, I it means the world to me, Callan. Thank you so much for coming on, being the first
So
guest
amazing.
on Get Serious here. Again, if you have any interest about Callan's bootcamp and Accelerate to Automate program, I will include links within this podcast. You can also reach out to me directly. I'm happy to answer any questions and additional parts of my experience and so forth here. But like, I really couldn't recommend it highly enough. It's obviously paid off a ton for ourselves. I continue to pay Callan's team, so like, clearly I still think the value is worthwhile there. So that should speak more than anything else. But Callan, thank you so
Amazing.
much
Thanks, Chris.
for coming on.
So good.
So that ends my interview with Callan Faulkner. I hope you enjoyed listening in on our conversation as much as I enjoyed participating within it. If you're watching on video, you probably see me just grinning or wanting to laugh so many times. I was having so much fun during the conversation. But I know we touched on it during the interview here, but if you are interested in getting coaching from Callan, she has this upcoming boot camp on October 2nd, 7th, and 9th. It is only $47. I mean, it is a no-brainer to get hours of coaching from Callan and her team. They are the best in the business. I went through it. I went through her 10-week course. You heard me in the interview. I continue to pay her and her team. Like, that should speak louder than anything else. You got to put your money where your mouth is. I can't recommend Callan and her teaching more so than I've already expressed a number of times, even over the past several months here. So you will see that link in the podcast below for her boot camp. But again, to me, the real core offering to look at is the upcoming 10-week Automate to Accelerate course that starts on October 22nd. So you can also sign up for that below to get some more info. Again, my company and my team went through that earlier this year. Just absolutely transformative experience. I think this upcoming session is, only going to be better than what Callan and her team has put on before. So if you are all interested, please check out the links below. Or again, you can just reach out to me, text me, email me if you want a bit more insight on the details of the program. I am happy to share. I have absolutely loved what Callan and her team have put together. So I would love to see her team continue to succeed and bring other entrepreneurs along the pathway to growth, just like we've experienced and continue to experience. With that, hope you enjoyed this interview. Looking forward to next time. Bye.